Are you looking to start your cloud computing career? Are you looking to get that first cloud job when you have limited experience? Are you looking to figure out what to study and what not to study? Well, I'll tell you one thing. Don't get 10X AWS certified. In this video, we're going to show you what to do instead. Hi, my name is Michael Gibbs, and I'm the founder and CEO of Go Cloud Architects, and we're an organization dedicated towards building high-performance cloud computing careers. And in today's video, we're going to talk about why not to get 10X AWS certified, but what to do instead so you can get the job of your dreams and have a very rapidly growing career. Let me begin by why I say don't get 10X AWS certified. Here's the thing. As people that have been in the tech industry for a long time, we know that you can only focus and have any degree of competency on a small subset of the entire world that you could be dealing with in the tech world. And when someone comes in and they're 10X AWS certified and they know everything from software development to networking and security, I know that's not possible. I can tell you that I spent much of my career in networking, and in networking I spent the first 5 years of my career on a single routing protocol called BGP. And you know what? I spent the next 5 years of my life working on another routing called PIM. That might have been just 10% of networking, but still I managed to spend almost a decade doing it. And I got so good at it that I was requested to speak constantly. And why? Because I had focus. And you know what happened every time I gave a speech? Another job offer came, unsolicited. They were like, oh my God, it's so hard to find a multicast expert or a BGP expert. Are you happy in your current job? Would you like to come work for us? Well, I want to give you that same career option. I want to show you to have depth, and I want to make you hireable. I want to make you desirable. And that's what this video is about. So, if we know that when you look like you have everything, the manager knows you really don't have much knowledge about anything, and the manager knows that you just basically bought a bunch of practice tests and learned practice tests and answers, and you're good at memorizing, and then you can take a test, what's going to work instead? Focus. Focus is the answer to not only getting your first cloud job, but actually having your cloud architect career accelerate so you can rise to the top. Focus. Be a specialist. Be someone that has depth of knowledge. So, let's look about what that would look like, because there's different types of cloud architects. And for each cloud architect, you really need to have a different background, a different training, and a different level of certifications. That's what you should study. You should basically make sure that your goals and your career are completely aligned. And when you focus your goals, your career, and all of your messages, and all of your learning, and all of your knowledge is all in one place, amazing things happen. We want amazing things to happen. So let's say you'd like the architecture of the cloud, and you just want to be someone that focuses on the generic architecture of the cloud. That's great, and that's fine too. But for that, what you really need to know, what do people that work on the cloud really need to know? If they're going to be good, they're going to have some operating system knowledge, specifically Linux. They might even have some Windows knowledge, which could help us some IAM things and Active Directory and some Windows workloads too. So a good cloud architect that's going to be on the generic side is going to have some type of operating system knowledge, maybe a Linux certification, maybe a Microsoft certification. Probably Linux would be better, but in either case, both show some infrastructure knowledge. A professional level certification, such as the AWS Certified Solution Architect Professional or the Google Professional Cloud Architect, and maybe both, because if you're going to work on the cloud, multi-cloud environments and hybrid cloud environments, we predict are going to become much more common due to some things in the way they've occurred in the industry. So then it would be good to basically have a professional level knowledge on 2 clouds and have some type of an operating system certification, ideally a Linux one. Red Hat makes some great certifications that are highly recognized in the industry. And at least there's some depth as it pertains to the generic perspective. But what if you like the infrastructure side of the cloud? Well, that's a completely different study path. The infrastructure is either data center backgrounds or networking backgrounds. And if you've got those strong backgrounds, I'm telling you, the cloud is super easy. I will tell you that I passed the Google Professional Cloud Architect exam in 3 days. My whole journey for the entire thing was I scheduled the exam, I bought the Sidex book, I read it one weekend and took the exam. No practice test. And the reason was I was a network engineer. I built the network that the clouds are based on. And I was a data center guy, and I helped build the data centers. You know what the cloud is? It's a data center plus a network. So I had basically been building clouds for the last 20 some years. So for that, it was very easy. So for a cloud infrastructure architect, I want someone to have a good network certification like the CCNP or the CCIE. That's going to show that they know how the networks work. I'm also going to want them to have a professional level certification. For example, the AWS Certified Solution Architect Professional, because that's going to show some depth of cloud knowledge. I might also want them to have something like the AWS Advanced Networking Specialty. Look, that's a very easy exam, and it's nothing compared to the CCNP or the CCIE level training when it comes to networking, but it shows the focus. It shows, okay, they know how to do it in the industry. They know how to do it on AWS. They've got a solid AWS background. This is a focused person. This is someone I want to interview. This is someone I'm going to hire. This is someone that can do the job. Security. I worked in security for a little while. What would you want to be a cloud security architect? Well, you're going to need a lot of things in security. You need to have some operating system knowledge because you're going to hack an operating system or applications. You need to have some operating system knowledge. You need some security knowledge too, and I mean real security knowledge, something that goes far beyond a network ACL or a security group. You're going to need deep security knowledge if you want to focus on security. For that, there's the Certified Ethical Hacker, which is probably the best one to show that you have deep, in-depth hacking knowledge and security knowledge. And if you can hack an environment, you know how to fix it too. Or the CISSP, which is a certification I maintained for years, and that was a certification that was based on writing security policies and how you would implement security for a large global organization. So for a cloud security architect, like an AWS Certified Solution Architect Professional, a CEH or a CISSP, or even better, both. And then maybe the AWS Security Specialty. But that security specialty, it's light. I mean, it's nothing compared to like a CEH or the CISSP. It's very small, and it'll be super easy for someone that has this background to take that exam. But what it does is it shows that you've learned how to do the security things that you've done in the CEH and CISSP on the cloud. So that makes you look a lot better. Now, there are people that on the cloud just love databases and want to focus on that. And you know what? That is great. Database administration, database design, database development, this is a huge specialty, and people can build a great career on just this. So now that they're on the cloud, they can do the same thing. So for this, still they need a good database industry certification. Oracle's got some here. There's other vendors that do, but Oracle's probably the best because it's the most commonly used enterprise relational database in the world, or at least one of them. So the Oracle one's going to hold a lot of weight. Always like to see a professional level certification, so maybe something like the AWS Certified Solution Architect Professional. And then at that point, the AWS Database Specialty. Again, this is a light certification. It's going to be nothing like the industry certifications you might get from Oracle for database administration, but it's going to show you how to do the database things on the cloud. But what all this brings is showing a focus. It's showing that you know the industrial way to do it, you know the AWS way, and if you know the Google way or the Azure way, that's great too, because environments where there's multi-clouds. So really what we're trying to say is, I don't want to see you waste all of your time getting 10X certified or 7X certified. You can spot these people a mile away. If you hear them talk about the cloud, they can call something a master class, and it's not even introduction to junior networking, but they'll call it a networking master class because they don't have depth. And as employers, we care about experience for one reason. We want competency. And when you lack experience, you're going to have to show competency in another way. So get all your ducks in a row, match your training, match your message, and match it with your certifications. Make you all look like the perfect package for that cloud architect job of your dreams. On March 1st, we are launching our How to Get Your First Cloud Job program, and we're super excited about it. We will be having a free webinar most weeks, and on the webinar, we will give you guidance on how to build your cloud computing career, how to plan your interview, how to highlight on your strengths, what employers want. These are going to be free webinars. They're going to be 90 minutes, and we're going to be holding one every week. So please join the next webinar. The webinars are free, and the link is in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we can't wait to see you on another video where we focus on your cloud computing career very soon. Take care. Bye.